To get started, log in with your PolyPort credentials. After you've logged in, click the Download button to begin the installer of PolyPort. It's important to note that you will need to be an administrator on your local machine when running the install. To invite an internal team member to your team, click the Manage button, then locate the Invite button on the top right. Once you click this, you can type in the user's name and their email address and send the invitation. They'll automatically get an email invite to join your team. The invited user will show as pending until they've accepted the invite, but in the meantime, you can assign them an account type. These account types control the roles and things that people can do in the portal and are covered in detail in the manual. Once the invited user receives the email, they just click the Join button and will be brought to the sign-up screen where they can put in their password and their email address to form their account. You will then see that that user is active in the portal. Launch the PolyPort desktop application and log in using the credentials you created for the portal. This will allow you to go to the next step, which is the first step in PolyPort of creating a project. Once you've logged in, we can click the plus button on the bottom left to create a project. Go ahead and enter your project's name and then click the OK button. We'll then be brought to the main project menu, where you can click the tile for the project you just created and begin to build your team. Depending on your resolution, you may need to drag the window down a bit to get the further menu options. Now we're going to click on Team. This is where we can add team members by clicking the plus button. The members that you see here were ones that you've added from the portal. By clicking on their names, you can add them to your team. To add external team members, people that are not part of your company, you can go back to the team menu, click the global icon, and then type in a user's name that you know of. When you click the plus button after this, if their username is found, it'll be added to the add members and then show up in your team. You can also note that they are noted as an external member with this icon on the top right. We can move on to adding assets to our project. Click the Assets toolbar item and then click the plus button and choose the top icon. This will allow you to add files or folders of assets. In this case, we're going to choose a smattering of assets that exist on our computer and drag and drop them. You'll also want to choose your output folder. The output folder is where the protected items will land, and those are the ones that you want to circulate. Now let's cover assigning permissions to a specific asset. So once we have our protected assets in the project, we can click on one of them, click the plus button next to the person icon, click a person's name, and then choose their permission level. There are 3 permission levels which are covered in detail in the manual. You can easily tell which assets have share permissions assigned to them by looking for the share icon in the column with the arrow pointed out here. And if there's an external user assigned, there's an icon in the external use column. To edit permissions, you simply click on one of those icons and then click on the ellipsis to remove people's permissions. Clicking on the Events menu will show you all the activity that's been occurring with your assets. Selecting an item and hitting the ellipsis will give you more detail. Items with a link occurring next to them are derivative assets that have been created and show you the parent and the asset ID, and items that appear in white are access denied events. You can filter on all these activities by clicking the slider button at the top right, and then choose the criteria you wish to filter on. To reset any filters you've placed, click the Reset button, and then you can begin filtering again. If you have any additional questions, please reach out at support.polyport.io.